just a variety of emotions right now because, well, I didn't speak of it on this channel, but for those that are out of the loop on me through all my other social media that isn't YouTube, best friend of mine named Devin Ganchitano, who was unfortunately in and out of the loop with me due to the fact that he has a hazy memory of his own phone numbers and Facebook and other such social media logins. He sadly recently passed away in a car crash down in Florida, and I was really wanting some good remedy to alleviate the pain that over the fact that I never got to catch up with him because, well, his memories were pretty kind of fiant, and, well, I am never going to forgive myself for not catching up with him sooner, at least physically. Well, mostly his conversation with him was with back in August 2020 when we were talking about video games, but at least he seemed like he still had a good outlook on me. But nevertheless, this victory by Kyle Larson was very much needed. I just wanted a Hendrick victory, but this still goes without saying. This judgment call by Chase Elliott wasn't really the best. He really should have known that it was more so Kyle Larson's spotter that was at fault because he made the mistake of not letting Kyle Larson know that Chase Elliott was on the outside. It was more focused on the opponent at Penske, known as Joey Logano, and he was a bit too neglectful about his teammate on his outside heading into turn one. And for those who are wondering, yeah, I am for once holding my driver Chase Elliott accountable on this because this was just one of those racing incidences because, well, there really wasn't much Kyle Larson could do in that situation. It was just a bad judgment call on his spotter, Tyler. And since they were both in an adrenaline rush racing hard for the victory, all hell basically broke loose. Chase Elliott's toe angle was shattering to smithereens. Basically was offing itself 2 times in one day. So much for his badass recovery when he hit the wall in the early stage of the race, only for it to come down like this, because that's just typical Chase Elliott. Has a promising ride, seems very optimistic for a race victory, only for it to get shut down in smoke like this. Chase Elliott, honestly, I understand the whole heat of the moment kind of temper, but he really should have cooled himself on this one because, well, he kind of let the emotions get the better of him. But honestly, to give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm pretty sure he and the rest of the Chase Elliott fan base will probably move on from this since, fortunately, I hate to act superstitious, well, something much worse could come along and make this incident look like a walk in the park. We should be glad it was Chase Elliott's teammate that won that race because, well, I wouldn't like it if it was one of Chase Elliott's rivals that in the past messed with him or badmouthed him for no reason. But overall, my thoughts on this race, this is actually the ultimate testament that getting rid of the low HP excrement was a good thing. NASCAR made the best call on this one. But, of course, there's always another side of the sword, and the fact that it produced exceptional racing on its the first race with this new car had its first race with the high HP on the track configuration that's bound to be demolished for a short track configuration. All I gotta say is, why do you need to specifically convert Auto Club into a short track when we already got exciting enough races like this? Even before they fucked up Gen 6, Auto Club had some pretty remarkable finishes in races. 2011 had an awesome finish, same with 2013, even though, well, there's always, of course, the blemish that is Denny Hamlin breaking his back and the field frozen bullshit. 2014 had a pretty smooth yet chaotic finish. And 2016, not as memorable, but it was still up there very much. And pretty much a good portion of the Gen 4 era had a lot of good Auto Club racing. Wasn't really much memorable about the Gen 5 era, but it was still up there. But still, why are you converting the wrong track into a short track? Texas Motor Speedway is the one that had dwindling crowds, dwindling racing, very absolute dumpster fire track compound to it. Why isn't that getting reconfigured? I mean, I understood going to the road course configuration for Indianapolis. I understood getting rid of Kentucky. But you really want to... Are you sure you still really want to make the final call and convert the 2-mile configuration of Auto Club into a short track? Aren't we indulged enough with short tracks? So much the fan base has become so indulged and so complacent with short tracks that it's become insipid. Like, yeah, short track racing is fun, but don't you get tired of eating so much of that candy, guzzling and consuming all that sugar to the point where it makes you look like a complete and utter fat, globular, slow-moving, rancid lard? Fun badass racing on exceptional intermediates could really spice up those races. Like, it can make you appreciate and understand the talent it takes to win these things, given the right package. And this race today was the absolute pinnacle of badass intermediate racing. So why does it need any changes? Especially when Gen 7 basically provided us the catalyst of why we're reminded that intermediate racing isn't all that bad. Look, we get it. I understand. Daytona, Talladega, any short track that's smaller than 1 mile, it's fun racing, I get it, but so much of it to the point it's become so unnecessary and mundane, then there really is no need to be excited. And it sure as hell is slowly eclipsing the talent that a lot of drivers need to display from themselves on different track variants. Like it or not, nuking intermediate tracks completely off their schedule is not the be-all, end-all for NASCAR. Because, well, if we get rid of those track variants just so we can appease the overindulgent, complacent fans that only appease to short tracks or restrictor plate tracks and are completely averse to road courses, then the schedule, the talent in these drivers are going to be completely insipid. Like, where's the fun? Why can't we see a wide variety of skills being displayed? Lots of exceptional skills. You got skills on driving on dirt. Well, even though Bristol Dirt's the only track on the schedule. You got your skills on turning left and right on all sorts of road course variants. You got Coda, that's very technical. Sonoma has some pretty narrow pathways, but a lot of drivers seem to make it work without completely murdering each other every corner. Watkins Glen, best fucking track on the schedule. Same with Road America. Charlotte Roval is probably one of the more compromising road course configurations. Indianapolis road course kind of is a bit detrimental to the Goodyear tires, but I'll still give it this year to really prove itself and show it what it's made of. And you got the Bristol with its progressive banking, the flat Martinsville where you have to speed up then brake as quickly as you can, but in Bristol you got to ease off the throttle in turn 1 and 2 without completely flooring the brake pedal. And Richmond's a little bit of a combination of both those tracks. That's why variety, deferring challenges, deferring conditions, deferring banking degrees, makes these races fun to watch. And you know what? Out of all of the drivers that I feel very sorrowful for in the Auto Club race, it's definitely got to be Tyler Reddick. He had a very dominant car all day long, had a flat, and then William Byron just completely 2003 Michigan Casey mirrored into Tyler Reddick, pretty much making it very reminiscent of the crash between Casey Mears and Ricky Craven. So that's very unfortunate. I don't think the last time I think the 8 car was in Victoria Lane in the Cup Series was 2006 Richmond by Dale Earnhardt Jr. And that was back when Dale Earnhardt Incorporated was a thing. And unfortunately that took... that's basically William Byron's second consecutive DNF. Unfortunately. And has 32 lead changes with high HP. Wow. Talking about impressive inflated lead change stats. And people want to say that there's no action or no passing at Auto Club. Take a good look at its lead change count. And no, it wasn't even because of pit cycles. You saw a lot of people passing for position. Eric fucking Jones was up there all day long, and he even got a fucking podium. Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, all underdogs were up there battling for the win. And I'm not sure what's it going to take for those tires to be fully adapted to the new car, or if they could fix the tires in due time so the tow trucks won't have to have those stock cars piggyback on them to pit road. But I'm sure they'll find new ways to patch up those loose ends eventually. But it just seems so kind of awkward and very heartstring tugging whenever we see someone on the hook, because we're so equipped to thinking that whenever you see a stock car on the hook on a tow truck, that means they're done. And finito. They're done for the rest of the day. But in this case, they're just assisting them back to their pick box. So I don't know what it's going to take for them to enhance those tires, but I would really hope they get it patched up real soon, because it's really awkward to look at, to see someone on the hook. And then suddenly they're racing again. Because that is one freaky way of deceiving someone, because we're just not used to that kind of sight yet. And how about Chase Briscoe? I can't believe he almost completely slipped from my mind because he led a couple of laps, but that was only because he decided not to pit, and he had a very wacky. His team had a very wacky strategy, which kind of reared his ugly face. Well, not his ugly face. You guys get the picture. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you ugly, Chase Briscoe. Don't chastise me. I didn't mean to. I really did not mean to slander you like that. My bad. But yeah, this was a really awesome race. Too bad it gave the companies the idea that because of how mediocre and atrocious it has been since basically the late days of Gen 6, it misled them to the idea that it was the track configuration that was hindering the racing quality and everyone else's driving talent. So they decided to appease the masses and turn it into a short track. This race today is basically the testament why you should put more of your focus, put more of your care on the cars, not the tracks. Okay, it's a little bit of a mix of both because Texas Motor Speedway still fucking sucks and Atlanta Motor Speedway is about to get completely mutilated by stupidity. But it still nevertheless goes without saying that you should not have actions or propositions this reactionary. I think you instead of making such propositions, you should have just let the Gen 7 have its first cup race on there first before you make a decision because, well, simply put, I don't see why it needs to be converted into a short track, especially when the problem was not the track. It was the stock cars. Primarily the stock cars. But yeah, hell yeah, Kyle Larson. Glad he won. And actually, this is a build-up to something relevant, so stay with me, guys. Remember when Marcos Ambrose was being all over Jimmy Johnson's ass when Jimmy Johnson was going for the Daytona sweep, the first one since, 1982, 83, 85, 1981 by Bobby Allison. Ambrose was basically, you could tell by his actions, he was trying to get him out of the groove to leave him high and dry, and then Jimmy Johnson slightly came down on Marcos Ambrose and then sent Jimmy Johnson's teammate Casey Kanan to the inside wall. And a lot of the NASCAR fan base was scapegoating Jimmy Johnson for making all those risks and making all those moves, and unfortunately it led to very dire consequences, and they in return gave him very nasty ill wishes, even death threats. If you were around back then in 2013 that was subscribed to the NASCAR memes page to where Chirp It was a thing, at least publicly was a thing to the general public, you would have remembered that there was this piece of shit Karen named Kay that said stuff like, I wish they would go somewhere like a flip over, flip. Or said stuff like, I wish we could just get rid of Jimmy Johnson. I wish the whole country could go against Jimmy Johnson. And she, quote-unquote, had all I could stand of him. She couldn't even give enough of a logical reason why she hated Jimmy Johnson. Said stuff like, it's his attitude. And then Dave Moody kept pinning her down, asking what specific things it was that made her mad, but then she basically backpedaled by saying, oh no, it's just the way she talks, it's the air. You know, very ill-informed kind of stuff. Very uninformative pile of rancid horseshit. Okay, but I'm going on a tangent. I'm mentioning all this for a reason. My reasoning of bringing this up is, do not mirror those clowns from almost a decade ago. Do not. Chase Elliott fans. Do not give Kyle Larson death threats. Hold the real culprit accountable. Blame Kyle Larson's spotter. Blame Marcos Ambrose for trying to shove Jimmy Johnson out of the groove intentionally. Especially when, both those incidences were racing incidents. Jimmy Johnson was just trying to get back into his lane, slightly touched Marcos Ambrose, and Marcos Ambrose was the G-force from Jimmy Johnson's maneuver slightly affected Ambrose, and he slightly pushed him into Kasey Kahne. Kasey Kahne went flying into the inside wall, head on, ended Kasey Kahne's day. Jimmy Johnson went on to win the Daytona sweep. Kyle Larson was trying to pass Joey Logano on the outside. Chase Elliott was there on Kyle Larson's outside. Tyler didn't clear Kyle Larson. That Chase Elliott was on his outside, and all hell broke loose. Accidents happen. Accidents happen. It's okay. It's only the beginning of the season. The season's still very extremely young. So I understand why you're pissed off, Chase Elliott fan base, but you don't really need to blacklist Kyle Larson or request him to be excommunicated from the Hendrick Motorsports ranks. Mistakes will happen. Dale Earnhardt Jr. made plenty of mistakes towards Jeff Gordon throughout the 2012 season. 2012, when he accidentally spinned out Gordon at Bristol, made a little bit of contact towards Jeff Gordon at the second Michigan race. I could go on. What you're seeing is nothing brand new. This stuff has happened before, and it will continue to happen for as long as this universe will continue to live. I call things as I see it. I'm not going to be a biased fan and make excuses for Chase Elliott to have a temper tantrum. It's a racing incident. Stuff happens. Chase Elliott, I'm still a big super fan of yours, but I know you can grow and learn from this, just like how Dale Earnhardt Jr. learned and grew from his mistake at the 2004 Food City 500 when he spun himself out to get back on the lead lap. Alright, I think I said all I could say. Good job, Kyle Larson. Score 1 for Hendrick Motorsports this year. Great race. Great racing at Auto Club. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Go Hendrick Motorsports.